Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 51. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And it's our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you this Monday afternoon, Ja?
Cool like always.
That's good to hear. I'm doing good as well. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. It is Monday, so get to the bag, get to it. Go to work. Hope everyone's enjoyed their weekend. It was a short weekend, it felt like. Hope everyone enjoyed the Valentine's Day, all that celebrated it. But it is Monday now, so let's get to it. There's a lot of action from last night's set of games, basketball-wise, so we're going to go right into it. First, starting off with the game of the night. The Blazers and the Mavericks, Luka and Dame. And those two players were out. They came and balled out. Luka and Dame both. Luka, 2 points shy from the career high he just set on Friday. Had 44 points. Dame, 34 points. We're going to get to Dame later on. We're going to get to both of them later on more. But this was a very, very competitive game. Offensive display by both teams, as you expect, because both their defenses suck. And they do have a whole bunch of great offensive players. Porzingis had a good game. It wasn't really much about him scoring-wise, though. That game, that went to Luka.
Yeah.
And this was back and forth. It looked like towards the end of the second quarter, the Mavericks started to pull away a little bit. Then at the start of the third quarter, they started to pull away, keeping that distance. And they had a lead in that third quarter at the start, at the top of the third quarter. And then the Blazers just went on a huge run. Like, they was knocking down threes, wrecking havoc. I mean, they was doing it all on that in that quarter.
Yeah, and it was all because of, like, even though it was the whole team, it was mainly because of two players who actually three. Dame himself, Gary Trent, and Anthony Simons, who had a really good game too. They just had it going, and that's the reason why in that third quarter you was able to see Blazers going that big run because of this. Let's just be honest, this team's range from the 3-point line is amazing. But yeah, as I was saying with that's the reason why they was able to have such a big lead, because of that ability, that natural offensive ability that we always talk about with the Blazers, their 3-point shooting and their ability to get to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really great quarter for them, as you just stated. But that wasn't the end of the game. I kind of had an idea the Mavericks would come back based on their offense and based off of how the Blazers played defensively. And that's what happened. Then the fourth quarter hit, and the Mavericks came back into the game, went on a huge run led by Luka, making plays not only by scoring, but passing, shooting, 3-point shots, helping get right back into the game. Next thing you know, it's tie game late in the fourth quarter. But it's late in the fourth quarter, so there's only one man's time, and that's Dame time. And as he hit a step-back three to take the lead in that fourth quarter. But the Mavericks still had a chance, obviously, because they was tied. Dame hit the three, so that only means still a one-possession game. And it was a great inbound play. The Blazers played it terribly.
Yeah.
Unlike how they played the inbounds play against the Sixers on Thursday.
Yeah.
Luka was left wide open. And he missed.
And that has been the story for him the whole season.
It was from three, yeah. It was like, it reminded me of when Larry Bird was left wide open.
Nah, come on, man. You can't compare that to this.
Except Luka didn't go to Terry Stotts and say, "Why did you leave me open?" It was like he was so wide open.
Yeah.
That like he missed. That's like the only explanation, because Luka's clutch. He had it going throughout the entire game. So there was no reason for him to miss this shot, but it just happened.
Yeah, because he had a great game shooting, especially from the three, surprisingly too. And
ever since they got on this run, he's been playing better
Yeah,
shooting from three.
yeah. And 9 times out of 10, he makes that shot. So they got lucky with that 1 out of 10% right there.
Yeah. So as a result, Dame has the game winner, and the Mavericks fall to the Blazers in thrilling fashion in what was a great game. Now, the Blazers, I believe, have won 4 straight, and the Mavericks streak of winning 4 straight has been snapped.
Mm.
So yeah, if you're a Mavericks fan, if you play on that Mavericks team, disappointing loss because you just getting to that rhythm, and
Yeah.
this win could have helped. But if you look for the Blazers, great win. They've been getting a lot of key wins despite the injuries, and I love that they're playing and still trying to, keep up the energy without CJ in there.
Yeah, but oh well, boohoo, move on next game.
Okay, you got the harsh attitude today. Speaking of the next game, let's talk about the rematch from the Western Conference Finals, which was the Lakers and the Nuggets. And this game was weird from the start. Well, one, there was only 2 referees. Usually there's 3. I
Yeah,
think one referee couldn't make the trip.
yeah.
That should have been a token of how this game was going to go. But in the first half, it was a back and forth between the Lakers and the Nuggets, the trading buckets. The Nuggets start to pull away late in that second quarter, late in that second quarter. Tragically for the Lakers, however, second quarter is when AD went out with seemed to be Achilles injury. And
Yeah.
if you're a Lakers fan, that is
I hear you. Yeah.
that's very, very scary. Because I'm gonna say this. I believe, of course, anything can happen, but they don't repeat without AD. I don't think that's happening.
Won't make it to the finals without AD.
Yeah, they need AD. He is so pivotal to their offense. Of course, I'm not going to completely count them out because they do have the greatest player in the world playing on their team. So I'm not going to completely count them out. But I just don't, I can't see that happening, you know?
Yeah, but let's be honest though. You talked about this yesterday, kind of with a different game and a different team, right? Remember how you say when the Heat lost to the Jazz, how what did the Jazz do to the star players? Like they limited to a point where the moment you get rid of them, the game is over, right? This is almost like similar, but in a different way, in which an injury has now demoralized one of your main pieces, like somebody who's really strong to your team, and as a result, now you're wounded.
Yep. And ever since that injury to AD, it just went down here for the Lakers.
Yep.
Nuggets went on a run after a run, kept up the pace, didn't hesitate, didn't let go. Jokic with another great game. Jamal Murray was playing aggressive throughout.
Yeah.
Finally, that's what I love to see. And as a result, the Nuggets were able to beat this Lakers team. But the story, of course, is AD. Hopefully, he'll be okay. As of this recording, we don't know the injury.
Yeah.
We don't know how long he'll be out. Hopefully, it's short. Hopefully, it's nothing. Hopefully, it's just a sprain. You know.
And that's the reason. And look at you. The momentum shifted the moment that happened. The moment that happened, you seen it on TV, and the whole team saw it from their very own eyes. You saw how the momentum shifted. It went from both teams having an equal amount of momentum, where both teams were able to go back and forth. So now the Nuggets just ran with it, just because of the fact that the injury. I'm not going to say demoralized the team, but it kind of drained their confidence a little bit, in which they had a difficult time.
Yeah.
Brown couldn't do it by himself.
No, he could not. And you saw Kuzma try to step up,
Yeah.
including the dunk that he had on Michael Porter Jr.'s head, and he did have himself a good game.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't enough. And by the way, did you see what's his name?
Compazzo,
Campazzi?
he get a rebound over
Campazzo? No, not the rebound over LeBron. The pass that he had. Pull up the footage. You don't remember?
I don't know.
Oh my God. That pass was unbelievable. LeBron was guarding him. He was looking in the direction of LeBron, passed it to the side of him in the corner. The ball didn't, you could hear the wind pass Kuzma's ear. That's how close the ball was to Kuzma's ear.
Yeah, I gotta see that one more time. I don't think I remember that play.
That was unbelievable. But yeah. Also, um, that was an injury for the Lakers on the Nuggets side. Paul Millsap went out
Yeah,
of the game. He didn't return. Hopefully, he's okay as well because he's vital to the Nuggets in terms of experience and
yeah.
veteran leadership. So they're gonna need him as well. And once they get into the playoffs, if they get into the playoffs, because they sometimes play inconsistent. But yeah, so hopefully he's all right. Hopefully AD's all right.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, despite all that, the Nuggets do pull out this victory against the Lakers in pretty convincing fashion.
Good job by the good job by the Nuggets, and good luck to the Lakers, and hope everything gets well.
Yeah. Well, we'll get more information hopefully on tomorrow's podcast. All right. Now, a lot of other games that happen around the league. Anything that you want to talk about? Anything that you want to go over? Anything that you noticed?
So I watched two games. I watched the Bucks versus the Thunder, and I also watched the Timberwolves versus the Raptors. And let me start off with the good game. So, like, it's the good game. The Timberwolves and the Raptors, they went at it.
Both were good games.
Yeah, both of them were good games, but yet one was more of an embarrassing fact. Well, let's say this.
Yeah, yeah. But as you were saying, Timberwolves and the Raptors. You said that was a good game. Yeah, that was like trading buckets back
Yep.
and forth throughout the entire game.
I ain't see no defense at all. This just pure trading buckets and buckets. And don't get me wrong, it got to a point where down somewhere in the third quarter, the Timberwolves had a run. They had a good run in which they were able to have a double-digit lead. And then as the fourth quarter went through, then the Raptors were able to get a run. And when the Raptors was able to get a run, then it became just like how it was before, a close game in which again it was all about exchanging buckets. And then the Timberwolves, I believe, had the lead, but yet the Raptors had an opportunity to like tie the game. And Spicy P had the ball in his hands, and he did a good move. He did a good move. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good move to get to the basket, and then all of a sudden the ball went in and just popped right out.
Yeah, that's another clutch miss
Mm-hmm.
from Siakam that we've seen throughout this season.
Yeah,
It's just not going for him in late game situations.
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's giving him a bad look. It's more looking like more about like a mild piece situation than a spicy piece situation. But hey, look at again. It's always 50-50 no matter what. If the ball goes in, the ball goes in. If it comes out, it comes out. There's nothing that you can really do about that. Unless if you try to get like a dunk putback, if you got an opportunity to do that. But like it was out of his hands, and like the Timberwolves were able to secure the win. So good job by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, by the way, Karl-Anthony Towns is balling, and he's been balling since he got back too. But yeah, but good win, good win by the Timberwolves. Good energetic win. Good job by Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, that whole team. Good job overall. Um, Bucks versus Thunder. The Bucks looked like the Bucks started off the game in which they looked like they had an opportunity to just take over from there, but then the Thunder just energy all around, energy and effort offensively, defensively just showed like from draining threes to trying to work around in the paint to like do it on the defensive end. They 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 had the momentum for majority of this game. They had it from the middle of the first all the way throughout the second. Then the Bucks picked it up in the third, was able to make this into a really good game in which they took back the lead. And then the Thunder just came out of nowhere once again in the fourth quarter and just took over. And Justin Jackson had a really big game for that Thunder team. I believe he had like 21, 22 points.
Yeah, Justin Jackson. Yeah, he had 22. He came up big time late in the fourth quarter as well.
Yep, and hit a big three down the stretch to even, I believe, dagger the game. And just an all around good effort by the Thunder team. Dort had a really good game. We don't talk about him much, but he's been having a really productive season for this Thunder team.
Baisley as well.
And Baisley too. He also had a really good game. It was just all around really good performance by this Thunder team, playing with effort, energy, no SGA. So, they had a chip on their shoulders still to prove something that they're a really good team on the rise. Probably, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but hey, they're a really good, fun team to watch. And just a disappointing loss by the Bucks. And just like what you said off the air, they're going to need that man Drew Holiday back, who's out because of COVID.
Yes, they need Drew Holiday back desperately. It's starting to show. All right. The games that I want to talk about first, starting off with the Pelicans and the Pistons. This was a entertaining game. Looked like the Pelicans, they got out to a lead in that first quarter, and the Pistons went on a big run in that second quarter, and then really kept it up in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. That was really it. I mean, they had that momentum that they got in the second quarter, and really just kept that
Just look behind you. Just look
throughout
behind
the
you.
entire game.
Behind you real quick.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm not disappointed in Bi. He had he had a right game. No, he had a good game.
And it gets worse.
Zion had a good game too. And he was attacking the whole relentlessly a lot. But it was just a really all around defensive effort by the Pistons, really, just by the whole team. I mean, Sadiq Bey, he played well. Jeremy Grant, Josh Jackson has really, ever since he's been playing really well this year.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been getting off that stigma that he had when he was in Phoenix and that whole drama situation that he got over there and all that. And he's been really how do you say this? Like, he's having a better career since.
Yeah, he's been doing way better since he got to the Pistons. Like,
yes,
his production and everything has increased since going into a different environment.
Yes,
because that's what he really needed. He just needed a new environment because, before that, people didn't know his name, so he was getting in trouble all the time. Yeah, but don't you know who I am? I'll be like, no, get up out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. This nigga thought he was Steve Nash. but he's done a really good he's had a really good campaign to revitalize his career. I feel like he's doing a good job in Detroit. And yeah, Pistons beat the Pelicans surprisingly, and they've won 2 straight.
Yeah. Pistons has just been blowing up really good teams as late, and my surprise team is disappointing me right now. I don't know why.
That's just surprise team, Pelicans. Yep. Yep. But yeah, Pistons won 2 straight. They beat the Pelicans last night, and they beat the Boston Celtics the other couple nights ago. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, they lost to the worst team in the East, or one of them, a couple nights ago, being the Pistons. And then you know what they said? We're going to up the ante. We're going to lose to the other team. As they played the Washington Wizards and got just handled. It was 2-on-12 because Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker were the only 2 people that showed up to play. Tatum, who? Tatum had a bad game early in the afternoon of yesterday. As for the Wizards, everyone was balling. Bradley Beal mainly being the main catalyst. Russell Westbrook close with a triple-double. Roy Hachimura, good game. And they just, I don't know what it was. They just had all the energy, all the effort, all the intensity.
You know what they were saying? They were saying, we tired of only getting wins against KD. We want to get some kind of wins on other teams. Because look at
this is what's going on in Boston? Because they lost 7 out of their last 10. I know they've been dealing with injuries. I know Marcus Smart is out. I know Kemba's been in and out of the lineup. I know Jaylen Brown just came back.
We know about the COVID situation too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Most of the games they have Tatum and Walker or Tatum and Brown or
Look,
Brown and Walker.
yeah.
That's not good enough to beat some of these teams. Why are you losing to the Pistons and the Wizards? Back to back. They are the worst teams in the league, and y'all lost to them back to back. Yeah, Russ. Y'all won. It's so disappointing. What is going on in Boston?
Look, man, look there's only one solution. Somebody got to travel to Indiana the next morning, try to convince Mr. Bird to come out of retirement because we need him. We need him. We need him. And there's no way he got no chance. They're 13. They are 13-12, and they need some kind of shot in order to get back to life because they just look out of it right now. The only person who don't get me wrong, Tatum and Brown are doing great, but I feel like the only person who's been having the great who's been the bright light of that season has been mainly Brown, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
He's been like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting Tatum. He is having an all-star season, of course, like always. But it's just like, his times has been up and down, which Jaylen Brown has always been big time, always showing up.
Some of them is not to his fault. Remember, Tatum was injured.
Yeah.
For a portion of the season.
Yeah, he was. You're not lying about that.
But still. But yeah, Tatum's been playing well for the most part, obviously, with the exception of last night's game. But yeah, Brown has really been the one who's
exactly
really been playing absolutely fantastic, almost every game. But yeah, the Wizards beat the Celtics. Congratulations, Wizards.
Embarrassing Bucks. I said Bucks. Celtics.
Before we go to prediction, we clown on the Celtics. What happened with your guys? Huh? Down in Sacramento. What happened? What's good, De'Aaron? I told you Josh better.
Do not do that, because when you talk about the individual dual performance,
yes, De'Aaron did have a
way better than Josh
game offensively scoring. But who made the better plays down the stretch?
Well, Ja, but when you're up by 21, then of course you're going to make the better plays down the stretch. Of course. De'Aaron Fox did not play that fourth quarter. And when your whole team, when 7 or 8 other guys on your team is in like double figures, meanwhile, the other team is just nobody on the team could get on the road except for like 2 other players. It's just like, it's embarrassing at this point. Of course you're going to look good. Of course you're going to look good when it comes to playmaking. Only De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, and as you said, Corey Joseph were the only ones who had it going for that Kings team. Everyone else just looked out of it. Meanwhile, for the Grizzlies, you had Valanciunas, who thought he was back in Toronto, up north.
Shout out to him. He's playing really well lately.
Slow-mo, Kyle Anderson, just killing y'all.
Dylan Brooks was just lighting them up.
Xavier Tillman, and Titus Joe, so many people on that team just had it going. And meanwhile, your star didn't even have a good shooting night.
Yeah, he didn't. But he made plays, and most importantly, above all else, he won the game.
Oh man, I forgot. He gonna do
it. But all right. Now with that out the way, it is prediction time. It is prediction time for tonight's set of games. Quite a few games to go, so let's jump right into it. First, starting off with the Bulls or the Pacers. Who you got?
Sorry, I'm Pacers.
Pacers as well. This is not 1996. The Rockets or the sorry. Our first primetime game of the night features a rematch from the intense battle that they had a few 2 weeks ago. The Rockets or the Wizards. John Wall, Russ. What you got?
I got the Rockets with this. Well, no, actually, I changed my mind. The Wizards. I forgot injuries still, man.
Yeah. Injuries are a problem. You're right about that. But I got the Rockets. I know when you put too much faith in the Wizards, they just fail you. I got the Rockets. The Knicks or the Hawks?
Knicks.
I was thinking about going with the Hawks because they haven't been playing really well lately. But yeah, I got the Knicks because they haven't been playing really well lately.
They have. You're not lying about that.
Oh, an interesting game. Another top dog in the Eastern Conference set to battle the hottest team in the league. It is the Philadelphia 76ers, the top dog in the Eastern Conference, up against, of course, the red hot Utah Jazz.
Look, I'm putting all my faith to the Jazz right now, man. It's just something about them that Salt Lake City water has been helping them whatsoever.
They have beaten Boston, Milwaukee, and Miami back to back to back.
Yep, they have.
Killing the Eastern Conference. Killing them. If 76ers want to defend their conference, they're going to have to get this win. Exactly. Do I believe they will get this win?
No.
I don't think so. I got the Jazz. The Cavs or the Warriors?
Warriors.
Ron? Kyrie? Kevin Love? I don't know. This would have been interesting in 2017, but we got.
I got the Warriors.
I got the Warriors. Oh, a good little point guard battle. Sexton and Curry.
Yeah. Well, we already know who's going to win that, though.
Yeah, Sexton. Duh. The next primetime game of the night is the Miami Heat up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Who you got?
If Kawhi's playing, I got the Clippers.
I got the Heat in this game. They've been playing really well, and I think they need to bounce back from that loss against the Jazz. And lastly, the Nets or the Kings.
Oh, man, I forgot KD's out. I still got the Nets.
Yeah, KD is out for the next two games, so this one and the next one, which is tomorrow. Yeah.
I still got the Nets.
You got the Nets? I got the Kings. Listen, if Colin Sexton can destroy them, De'Aaron Fox can too. I can't even say that because I said, but Curry didn't have a really good game on Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah,
still over 20, but he didn't.
But yeah, I got the Kings. They're a good offensive team. I think they could beat them.
Yeah,
I think it's possible. Just one game. But all right, it is time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
No, not tonight. Not tonight for me.
Oh man, what a crazy night.
Also, let's just remind them in one of our future episodes, probably this up and coming week, we will be talking about the All-Star voting.
Yes. I believe the All-Star starters will be announced Thursday.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that on Friday's podcast. But we have our own All-Star starters that we are going to do that we will show you on Thursday's podcast. So just be aware, a little reminder about that. But anything else?
Nah.
All right. With that being said, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And also follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this was the Minor Basketball Podcast.